That's so loud.
Probably
It was, it dates back to the early 1700s. It was Richmond, the last time
Okay, welcome to making outrageously long videos while constantly teetering on the brink of a full-out mental breakdown, which could happen at any possible time without any warning whatsoever. I made the 8-hour Victorious video.
Why'd they let you get away with
Yeah, I don't know why they let me do that. So what happened was a few months ago, these people emailed me and they were like, "Hey, do you want to come to New York and do a panel?" And I said, "Yes." And they said,
you don't want to do VidCon anymore.
Yeah, what? Who wants VidCon? I got UBcon. Or UBcon. And
you think you're getting the panel?
anyways, I'm telling the story. So they emailed me and they're like, "You make pretty long videos. You probably want 2 hours to do a panel." And I said, "Yes, definitely." And we didn't plan anything until about 5 minutes before we started. And that's a lie, we didn't plan anything, so we're just going to riff. No plans whatsoever. You don't get to where you are in my life by planning things, so. I just want to say one thing. I've been to a handful of conventions. I've never been put in front of like a professor's classroom. Usually it's just like a room with a bunch of fold-out chairs, and they got me out here like I'm fucking Xavier, like I'm a whole. See, that joke didn't land, and now I feel. Is there anyone here who has no idea who I am and just came? Yeah, there we go. Just like you wanted to sit down for it. But I told you we have to open the door because people who have no idea who I am need to know that they can come sit down in here for 2 hours.
See, that's a funny thing. They don't know who you are, but even the people who know who you are,
but I know who
I
am.
Oh
yeah, the people. Okay, so this is when they told me I could do a panel, I was like, "Can I just invite a random person?" And they were like, "Yeah, you can do whatever. Literally, you do whatever you want." And so this is my friend Hippierat. He's for a couple years now he's been ghostwriting / co-hosting videos, and I've never had the chance to meet him. So I use this as an excuse to meet him, fly him out. If you've seen like my Fred videos, if you saw Animeme
especially, that was the one where I fainted laughing.
Oh yeah. And you weren't too chill to help me write it.
Very much, yeah. We originally did film some live reaction stuff, but it got lost, I think.
Oh yeah, that sounds right. Hippie will sometimes contribute jokes, but his most important role in my life is he's like my ghost reader, because I never think my material is good. So I always just send it to him, and he's like, "Yeah."
Every YouTuber needs that. And this is just my friend. He's just here on the third wheel.
I don't even know who this guy is. And he's like, "Hey, can I just get a comment?" I was like, "Yeah." I don't care. I got 2 hours to film. Wait, hold on. Hold on. All right. Go!
Yeah, who's already walked in the room.
So I'm guessing it's been a weird thing the last like year. I've really blown up.
Oh my god!
Like, would you say that's fair?
Yeah. It's just like. It all started with the History Channel stuff. You were like at 300,000 for a good couple.
I want to say like 2 years, and I was just stuck in a rut, and I was depressed and sad. And then I did the History Channel thing, and it blew up in a major way. And I was just like, I came up with this theory one day where I was like, I gotta start doing like subscriber goals, because I was like, surely that would work, right?
Because that was the big thing in the History Channel thing. That was the first time you tried. Like here in the first 5 minutes of the video, I'm going to say, "Hey, go click that subscribe button," because not enough people have, and then people did, and I was like, I like that.
Yeah, well, I used to never tell people to hit subscribe, and then I just realized one day like I should do a test where I start saying the first 5 minutes, and then like videos started performing better, more people interact, and then I was like, I should do goals where I tell people if we get to this number by this date, I'll do this and this. And I was like, do you know what wouldn't take a long time? iCarly. So throughout all of 2020, I kept plugging that to be like, we gotta do this one really short iCarly video.
And originally gonna be an hour.
Yes. And
Imagine that, an hour-long video on iCarly is too much.
Start trimming stuff. So that just consumed several years of my life, and in a really positive way though. And so I feel like after iCarly and Victorious, things really started. Wait, hold on.
You gotta do it.
I'm sorry, I want to locate someone before I came in.
I'm gonna walk third. You can do it. No problem.
You weren't doing it.
No.
Sorry, thank you. It was
Does that one count? Does that count?
No.
Oh, is he gonna walk back in? That feels like cheating. I should. We all agree if he walks back in right now, we're not gonna. We've decided not to.
You like the price?
Yeah, do that one.
To boldly plead.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, if he comes in, we just come in and like, watch. You, my guy, just watch. We just looking at me as just Mr. Quinton Hoover.
Okay.
What is it, Doug Walker was again? Doug Walker was here 11 years ago.
Okay.
9 years ago. So guess what?
Oh my god.
Wow. Yeah.
He was also with Lindsay Ellis back when she was in the South.
Okay. I was talking about iCarly, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess the Nickelodeon stuff's been going really well for me. So I just.
Yeah, it's taken up a lot of your time, but in a positive way. That was where I think you left off.
Yeah, it's just been a really surprisingly nice thing. Yeah, it's just the energy people have for this stuff is surprising.
Oh my god, yeah, because it's just like somehow this has been able to be like this memification of content creation. Like, it's, like the joke is that it's so long, but also like, you know, you could easily just like slap a long timestamp on a video just by like adding like fucking 3 hours of blank screen. But yeah, it's not, you know, that's not what it is. And like people watch the video thinking like, this can't be 3 hours of like Carly video. This can't be 8 hours of Victorious. But it's then they realize like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's been a selectively positive thing that it's such a meme that my videos are too long.
There are some people who are weird about it, but like it's not that serious. It's like, okay, but it is that serious. Consider now jewelry.
Oh my god, yeah, that was one of the things I was telling you about the other day. It was an Easter egg I forgot to mention. You know, in Victorious, it still bothers me to this day. There's this episode really late in the Victorious where, as a joke, they really queerbait. You know, someone pointed out to me later. There's this Easter egg in the show where throughout season 2 and season 3, the beginning of season 3 of Victorious, Tori is wearing like a very recognizable necklace, and then there's an episode where Tori and Jade start dating, and then after that episode, Jade wears the necklace for the rest of the series, and it's like, what the fuck does that mean? Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Lost my train of thought. People have arguments about this to me all the time. Where like a lot of people are like, I think the writers were bad at their jobs and didn't know that they were queerbating. And I was like, are you in? You know, are you out of your mind? Because I think it's very clear that the writers found out the show was ending, and it's just like, let's just fuck with people. Like, let's make an episode that will bother teenagers for the rest of their lives.
And it did.
I mean, or the other fascinating thing is I've had so many people tell me after that video came out where they were like I was specifically like, you know, women who were like, I was a teenager when I saw that episode. The episode where Tori and Jade go on a date, and it made me realize I'm gay. Completely like positive spark of emotion caused by this weird Nickelodeon sitcom. And I thought it was very interesting. I'm gonna do a video if you about the show creator, but I'm trying to save it all for one video, so that's why there's the meme that I don't talk about it. I just realized I want to ask real quick, is there anyone here who knows who I am, but just, alright, calm down. Anyone here who knows who I am, but like is just not into the long videos? Like it's just like, oh, I watch your content, but like, 2017 Quinton's where it's at. This guy is making these long sitcom. No one really? That's fair.
Who hasn't seen
finished it yet. Finished Victoria's Part 2 yet.
Out.
Well, that's the fun thing about Victoria's Part 2, because it's like we're right now living in the aftermath of that, where you basically revived this entire conversation about like the Jory ship and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And you've gotten a lot of people unironically interested in the reunion,
which is something
idea.
I made up. That's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, we never. I personally am also wishing that the show existed.
I also would like a reboot. I've always held, after the videos come out in the last few weeks, I've held these convictions. Just things I'm convincing myself. And the first thing is, I think if there ever is a Victorious reboot, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I helped make that a thing. And then the second thing is, I like to believe that if there is a Victorious reboot, someone in the writer's room will have watched the 13 hours of Victorious content on my channel, and will be in there fighting for us, And the final thing I like to believe is that if there's a Victorious reboot, which is like a 1% chance, shot in a million. If there's a Victorious reboot, and if Tori and Jade are gay in the reboot, I didn't. That was me. I said it out loud. I brought that into truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been really cool. I'm glad there's a good vibe. I've been telling Hippie this whole time, this is a test, because I used to be really anxious about, going out and identifying myself. I didn't always feel safe. So this is like a test. If I feel really comfortable about the next today and tomorrow, then I could see doing more conventions.
Well, you're doing a good job.
Oh, well, thank you.
Just letting you know.
You guys are doing it. Too much, or do you think there's anything I should say before conventions?
We just talk.
Yeah.
I think most of the stuff that we'll end up if we wanted to rant about this stuff, then it'll probably come up in the question. So we could start.
I guess would it be fair? Hope this is a normal one. Hey, how's it going?
I just want to say an understatement of the whole Jade and Tori being together. The way they hate each other in the show, that would be so accurate, for it, because the whole love-hate relationship that you sometimes have in the world.
Yeah.
Would be perfect.
You see, the thing about Jade and Tori is they spend way too much time together, considering that they hate each other. So to me, it's very much they're in love with each other, and they don't want to. They don't want to say it. So they're just if we pretend we hate each other, we get to spend slightly more time together.
To you, this started off even in general, the idea of it was never once in your mind, this idea of Jade and Tori being interested in each other. In the first couple seasons.
Well, no, the first couple seasons what it was is I was wouldn't it be funny? And I was they never hit this in the show for a reason. And the big thing was that there's just there's so much stuff in that show that I feel straight women don't do. Straight women don't keep costumes of each other.
That's the big one.
It's just my impression, So I was just there's no heterosexual explanation for that one. But then as it went on, it just really started to feel it really felt like the showrunners read a bunch of Victoria's fan fiction, and they were this is hilarious. Let's just start stealing this stuff. Wait, go back to the door and then come back.
You can't tell them to do that! Go! Oh my God! Everyone's gonna feel so embarrassed every time they walk in. They have no clue, it's just a bit we've been doing.
They weren't even for the panel, they were just cutting through the room. Well, okay, we'll get to kill the
If they were just cutting through the room, they deserve to be embarrassed for that.
I'm going to remember this bit for the entire weekend.
Probably doing it tomorrow. Oh yeah, I feel someone over here raised their hand when I was talking about Jade and Tori,
Jade and Tori just being the new enemies to lovers arc.
Yeah.
But also, if there would be a reboot, I'm pretty sure everybody hated Victoria Justice.
Yeah, but you've seen the end of the video, right?
Oh yeah, well,
By the end, he does
I do
come
like a
around.
full 180 by the end where I'm like, you know what? I'm a Victoria Justice fan.
Yeah, because like, ultimately we've got to realize like
I'm just saying.
a lot of the hate was unjustified.
Jade wouldn't be played by Elizabeth at all.
No, well, they're still friends. They're just not birthday buddies. You know, they still text each other.
Do they?
Yeah, they're still fun.
But it's just that like Liz works in like fucking Georgia because she's on what is it, Dynasty?
Yeah.
And then like Victoria is like really reclusive because, well, first of all, she just quit like music for a while, and then she started getting hate when because a bunch of Victoria's fans, and then she had to start apologizing for the show, which I thought was embarrassing. Like in like 2021, she was doing a press tour for a movie, and she started being like, I watched some of these interviews just very briefly. It was too sad. She had to be like, you guys have to understand, I didn't write the show. I, Victoria Justice, did not write the show. And
That's just what someone who wrote the show would say. Are we gonna do the bit? Are we gonna do the bit?
I know that like there was this big article.
Are we gonna do the bit?
I don't know, but it's I'm sorry.
You already killed it!
We were in a bit where every time someone came in, we played music, but people started getting really embarrassed.
At least I assume people would be embarrassed. That's what I imagine. That's the thing. I imagine myself walking in like a middle of a show, and then everyone starts cheering. That sounds like the most embarrassing thing ever.
You were late to work and they did that.
Oh my god, I would die! I would quit on the spot. I would walk back out the door.
What I was getting at is I read this article that I should have mentioned in the video that was about how like everyone thinks Ariana Grande hates Victoria Justice because they don't hang out. But I read this article that was about how like Victoria Justice put out a new song. And it was like her first song in like 6 years because she quit music immediately after Victoria's. She put out her first song in 6 years, and Ariana Grande like immediately plugged it and sent her like a really long. I thought my alarm was going off. It sent her like a really long, loving text. And I don't know. It's just like people always pit women against each other in the entertainment industry. So the whole thesis statement I'm getting at here is if you pluck like Victoria's part 1 Quinton at a time and you put them in here, we would have an argument.
10th grade? It's like 5th grade.
I'm sorry, 5th grade. I don't know what I meant. 10-year-olds who are in the 5th grade. I have a verbal thing that has a name I can't remember. And so Drake Bell's walking around with these little 5th graders who are actually in the 5th grade, and he's like, "So we're gonna go out for ice cream later?" And it's just like the most thing ever seen in your entire life. And then at the end of the trilogy, he turns back into a child.
And you make the joke.
Yeah.
This is gonna take some getting used to.
Danielle Monet.
Yeah.
What's the character's name?
Tootie, but I call her Tootsie. Yeah, I say that she's been tricked into being a pedophile because her boyfriend turned back into a child. It's so weird to watch those now because I look at Tootsie and I see Trina Vega. Yeah, it's really changed. But that's why it also works at the end of iCarly because it is kind of like a Victorious adjacent thing. Yeah, so I was doing this joke for a while. Whenever someone walked in, I'd play the da 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 da. What? What's this? It's me. If you don't know who I am, it's not gonna be fun. It's like how to make extremely outrageously long videos about. I made the 8-hour Victorious video, something like that. I'm Quinton Reviews. If you don't know who I am, you're not gonna have fun.
Watch your stuff later.
All right, well, thanks. The poor fool doesn't know what he's getting into.
He's made a promise he can't keep.
I mean, I'm sure there's at least a couple people in here who get
Oh, yeah,
who
well,
you are.
He might back on track.
Every second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I have no clue who we are, man. I'm doing it.
Well, I'm glad All right. I guess we'll go that. Time travel gang. Is it going to be on the test?
Yeah. There is going to be a test.
It's open notes though, so I'm too willing to watch a 24-hour miniseries.
Yeah, it is open notes, but you only have 2 hours to take the test. So good luck watching the goats in the middle of the test.
Okay, so you're involved, right? Officially, when do they throw me out?
I don't think there's anything going on after this in this room, so you could probably like stay on.
We can vamp for a bit, but I don't want to keep you guys too long. I'm sure there's exciting stuff.
Yeah, there's like the Nerf war, and like some of y'all might want to.
I think
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
yeah,
more
for sure.
out, like, I guess at 10:30.
Okay, let's go like 10 more minutes. I've had fun.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I would do this on stream. Just stay up until like 6 a.m.
In your opinion, what's worse, the last season of Victorious or the last 3 seasons of iCarly?
iCarly easy.
iCarly's far worse, but to be fair to iCarly, 6 seasons is harder to make than 4. Victorious really peaks in season 3. Like that's why so many people like write fan fiction where they just delete season 4 and start over. Because season 3, it's like really, really enjoyable. Like, did you enjoy season 3? Because I liked it.
I loved it. I actually did like season 4. I think it was fun.
I think it's just because I just got used to the stakes of season 3, you know?
Because season
3 had the breakup storyline, and it implied that Tori and Jay might be gay, and, you know, there was the hints that Beck might be a thing with Tori, and she was really mature.
We'll do that, but yeah. So it's planned, but you have no idea when. Kind of the same answer to like anything that's planned, you know, Animorphs, Back to the Barnyard, any of the other incentives and stuff. Yeah, those are still planned. It's just we have no idea when it's going to happen.
And I think it's just been hard for me to start on videos on other projects while I'm in the middle of this like 2-year iCarly thing, which is
like the Homestuck thing.
I just want to be done.
We have planned this whole thing for the next like 2 years. Quinton and I and maybe someone else, we don't know yet, we'll be doing like a Homestuck book club where we read it through entirely for the first time for a long.
I'm with this guy.
Huge stretch of
This guy
time.
was doing like.
That's just one of those things where like, we can't really start that until the iCarly project is finished.
But yeah, I also don't want to do it, so that's I have this gag I want to do where, in my head, I've never told you this to your face, but in my head, the longer it takes for us to do the Homestuck video, the funner it is. So, a year and a half ago, I shot the intro. With hair down to here on like my McDonald's set, where I was like, it's 2021, baby. We're gonna. And so the idea is that it's like it just takes me
5,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah, that was the bit where I was like, I'm trying to get to 500,000 subscribers. The whole joke is that it's like, if this video takes me 15 years to go to finish, that will be the funniest video I've ever made. So it's just like, I haven't been working on Homestuck because it's just like, no, the longer we take to work on this video at all, the funnier that intro is. That's true. But anyways, no one asked about that, so.
Is there anything else, specifically in terms of the NSU, that like we don't know about that you're like even willing to let us know or let us in on, or is it just like advertising iCarly you're just done?
Oh yeah, well I feel like I've not been secretive at all. Every time I'm on a stream, I just explain the entire rest of the series. Well, it's the next few videos are going to be Sam and Cat, then a super serious video that you're all anticipating, then the reboot, then I'm doing a remake of my Timmy Turner trilogy. The whole joke is that I'm redubbing the audio, but not refilming the camcorder shots. I pretend it's still like 2017.
That was the first video, so we're going to go.
Oh wow, yeah. And so those jokes have aged phenomenally well. I think I said this yesterday, but I planned that out before, you know, Timmy Turner went to prison. I was like, I want to remake this video, and then Drake Bell went to prison, and I was like, maybe I should remake the video. Maybe all the jokes have aged badly. And then I rewatched it, and I forgot how much of those videos were just me implying that Drake Bell is a pedophile. Because there's something very surreal about this image of Drake Bell as like a 30-year-old playing a 22-year-old, hanging out with like a 10-year-old fifth grader, and just being like, hey, you guys want to get ice cream? Like, oh, and then I want to do a bunch of one-off videos that probably won't do too well, but I need some one-offs. I've been saving a couple, and then at the end of the year I want to do a bonus video. Hopefully, I want to do a knock-up November of the show Bizarre Bark, which is A very interesting show because it was the Disney Channel Jake Paul show. And basically, Disney Channel somehow got Jake Paul for a show, and like these executives didn't understand buying or that shit, so they were like, yeah, he's like an internet creator, and then someone was like, you mean like iCarly? So they just made iCarly again, and so they picked these two like teenage girls, and they just did iCarly, and like Jake Paul was the Gibby. Is that? Oh, and here's the twist, ladies and gentlemen. One of the teenage girls is Olivia Rodrigo. Like, yeah, it's some shock faces. Wow, actually, we were talking. I have a couple video game ideas. One of the one-off videos I want to do is I want to review all those Nickelodeon crossover games from the 2000s. I played a bunch of those on PS2, and it was always weird to me how they have a lore. And it would almost be taken seriously, and it would just be like Danny Phantom being like, we gotta stop this guy. Multiverse is at stake. SpongeBob. And as a kid, I'd always be like, wait, so in the when they get back, is the game canon to the rest of, like, for the rest of Danny Phantom, has he met SpongeBob?
Yes, my old rivals.
Oh, and then I want to do.
Wait. That makes Big Time Rush get into the whole show.
The most interesting concept I had to research for a video. That's an interesting one. I remember the crimes being really fun to look into. Like, you know, with iCarly, that was probably. iCarly is just totally different because I'm just filling the air with nonsense. But so like, I did this thing where every time I would research like Seattle law. So like, iCarly said in Seattle, so I just had to like research like how illegal is this thing. But then it just got to the point where I would just be like, Sam makes a sweatshop, and I was like, what do you want me to say? Yes, that's illegal. I put out an April Fool's video, which I've been working on for years, which was every time I made a video, I shot an alternate version where I was talking about B-movie. And I uploaded it as like a fake compilation that you had to watch to get the joke. And it didn't perform well at all for some reason. I can't imagine why.
I was huge on that video. So I thought that was so impressive.
Brandon became obsessed with it, and he made like an analysis video that was about it and speculating on like the themes.
Yeah, and like how deep the lore kind of goes in, and kind of unraveling some of the things that would like be part of like a lore movie. I took the video down recently just because it doesn't kind of match up with like my current quality standard, and I plan to kind of remake it with like new information in mind at some point.
Yeah, Hippie is pitched to like a video or two that are kind of like recapping my lore, which I think that's a really funny idea because it'd be good for new audiences to have some video out there. But that was how we met basically. I never had someone. I was very impressed because people didn't care about my lore back then. And he saw like my most obscure videos and like pieced together all the. I mean, you got a lot of stuff wrong. He thought the B-movie video was about time travel. Is that what he thought?
Something like that.
And,
I mean, like
but
the main issue was just like I didn't realize it was kind of like an alternate universe thing.
Put that on my playlists of like my favorite videos, favorite fan videos, and then we followed each other on Twitter. And then one day he joined my Patreon.
Before that, I got you for a voice cameo for a video.
Oh yeah, I did a voice cameo for one of his things, and then he joined my Patreon for the tier where you can get in my Discord. And I don't know if you saw this when you got in, but literally when I sent you the invite, I got in my Discord, and I was like, everyone be chill.
I saw that. That was
this
really
guy
nice.
is really cool. I want to make a good impression.
That was really nice.
He's one of the most constant people. I always appreciate him being there.
Yeah,
he always reads my scripts, and
I've been a fan for so long, but it's been really dedicated to the content. And,
yeah,
you've just been like one of my biggest inspirations for making content. Like you've kind of shaped a lot of how I approach it, and
it's really cool.
Yeah.
At this point, it's gotten to the stage where I don't record anything until he's read it, basically.
More or less.
Which should be bothering him a lot, and I apologize for that. But
no, it's fun. I love reading it.
But I just feel like I'm never sure about my content. I'm never sure if anything's good enough to record. So it's really good to have a ghost reader.
And this is my friend. I know him from other ends of the internet. He actually made this YouTube series, AI Builds, which some kind of a niche little thing, kind of a Petscop inspired project. Currently in the works to be covered by a big YouTuber, Nexpo. In fact, kind of going back to that Blue's Clues thing earlier, if you really like the Blue's Clues thing, I think you'll love the.
It's really disturbing.
It's very personal. It's very.
There's a lot of people that have stopped watching it.
It's very visceral. But yeah.
Nightmare Masterclass interviewed me for that. Did you see that?
I feel like I did, but it's been my brain.
Yeah, Nightmind was gonna do a video on it and then stopped because he didn't know what to say about it.
But yeah, this has been basically an operation. It's been an opportunity. It has been an opportunity also to finally meet him.
I love this guy so much. He always brings my garbage down.
Oh yeah, same. Like he's one of my best.
True friend.
Yeah, exactly.
I help you?
If it's a push door, I might be able to get it.
I kind of want to see inside.
Woo! If you don't happen to know me, I also do these YouTube review videos. I did the Troop video, which is just another. It was only 2 hours, so it's kind of short. But yeah, it's that one is kind of the one I'm most proud of right now. It unravels this very obscure Nickelodeon show from around the time of iCarly that people, for some reason, do not even recall existing. And I have a few other things. I have a 2 hour long Five Nights at Freddy's video from a couple years ago.
One of the most impressive things to me about the Troop video is that you edit all that on an iPhone or something?
Yeah, I edit all my videos.
It's a 2 hour video. It's a 2 hour video.
It doesn't suck.
I think the first thing I saw was the History Channel.
Wow.
Because when I was a little kid, I used to watch it with my brother. And then I remember one day they're talking about aliens. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So I remember seeing the computer documentary. And I was like, yeah, what the fuck did happen to the History Channel?
Yeah.
Actually, the saga really started with the Area 51 video, didn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. It was I did this video about Area 51 that was basically like the Area 51 raid was happening, if you remember that.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm gonna do a video that day about I'm just gonna buy a bunch of actual books. Because so much of it's been declassified. People who work at Area 51 are reading books, so I'm just gonna do an actual video about it. And I did this video about it, and kind of my thesis statement was that the military actually benefits from alien conspiracy theories. Because there's just a massive amount of subterfuge where it's just someone's like, I saw a spacecraft in the sky! And then the news is like, my God, what do you think it was? I think it was aliens! Alright, we're going home, good luck with that. And then it's in the military, it's like, oh fuck, they didn't figure out that was a drone,
Yeah, so one first of all, I actually, I swear to God, I think I saw one of your first videos in 2016. Well, not one of your first, one of your earliest. Didn't watch it, started watching again because I heard a bunch of people talking shit about you for not supporting Donald Trump or something. Oh yeah. It was one of those weird things where I found out I discovered.
People used to be so bored. What bothered me most about it is I was getting so much shit for it, and I was like, I can't even explain this to my friends because they won't believe me.
Yeah,
it
was people who get mad when you can't joke about the Holocaust, but then when you joke about someone joking about the Holocaust, it's like, whoa! How dare you!
There are boundaries, man! Anyways, let's not linger on that because I really don't want to. But what were you saying, guys?
Sorry about that.
It's cool.
Yeah, when is your fall time today about Dream S&B? No kidding. Oh my God, yeah. What is your dream collab? Is what I'm going to say. Who would you want to collaborate with? It doesn't even have to be you.
Well, this is where you're about to find out that I am not exactly well tuned into the culture of Dream SP.
I was joking. I don't know either.
I think the literal question is like, who would you most want to collaborate with?
Okay, so if the question is anyone I want, who I want to collaborate with, for a split second I was going to say Eric again. Because I collab with him like once a year because he's so great. Collab with anyone I want, anyone on like the whole internet. I don't know.
I have a good answer.
What's your answer?
Epic Rap House of History. Childhood, and I'm like hyper fixated on that.
I've talked with a YouTuber, I guess this is fine to say, but one of my favorite YouTubers is a guy called Odd Header, who's a gaming YouTuber, and we talked about, we still might do this someday, I don't know, maybe I'll just do it, maybe he'll just do it, I don't know. But we wanted to do like a 5-hour analysis of Jack and Daxter. And my pitch was it'd be a 2-channel collab, so like, we'd review all the Naughty Dog games on his channel, and then you'd have to go to my channel to watch like all the like stuff that came after the Naughty Dog games. But it's so hard to do collabs. I found this out really early, where it's just like most collabs are disguised as collabs, and what it is, it's like one YouTuber has like written the stuff of 2 people, and then they just pretend like they wrote it together. Yeah. And it's always awkward when it's like, you end up putting words in people's mouths where it's just like you make up a character played by a YouTuber, and then that's what the collab is. And I don't know, it's just, but I'd love to do like, have a voiceover.
Holy shit, it's Odd Header.
What the fuck? That's Odd Header.
What?
You fool! It's Bubble Boy!
Why not have that ready? Right?
Don't worry about it. Okay,
I did double door, but we took the work on it and then get this on.
How do you generally deal with like burnout and making videos?
just give yourself breaks.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone tells you it's all about that hustle, you gotta work hard to play hard. It's just like, just give yourself breaks. I have not worked on anything aside from like a few pages of notes. I'm aiming to get a whole month in of not doing shit. Actually, it's been a whole month because I think Victoria's is doing days. I haven't done anything where it's just like, if I was to work on SoundCloud right now, I would get burnt out by the end of the month, I think.
I mean, the next plan is to do the Gibby live stream.
Yeah, well, live streams are different.
Fair.
A live stream is no more effort than this panel.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like you gotta give yourself breaks, and if you're denying yourself rewards, you gotta stop doing that. Like if you're like, I can't take this vacation until I get to 100,000 subscribers, it's just like, have mac and cheese for dinner, you know? Take a month off, try and not use the internet as a distraction, you know, from whatever problems you're facing. And if it's a hobby that becomes a job, get another hobby. Like honestly, you know, it's like video editing was a hobby for me that became a job, and now it's like, I don't know, I gotta start building Legos or something. Yeah. I make custom Doctor Who figures in my free time, which is the perfect hobby because no one can possibly care about it.
Would you say, like going back and rewatching it or making the video, you went back and were like, oh, I actually like enjoy this show?
Fred the show. No question in the world, it's the only one that's like, unironically, you should watch this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not a joke. There's something brilliant about the expired cow. They should have won a fucking Oscar or whatever.
Yeah, it's silly how much people just
slept on that.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, oh, another Fred thing. But my God, Fred the show is so good. And it's just like, the problem with like iCarly and Victorious is even when they get unironically good, it's like for a short span. Like I think iCarly is really, really good for like, I'd say it hits its stride in season 2. And then Victorious is really good in season 3. And then for the rest of it, it's just like, you probably should watch the show. But Fred the show is really good. I really want to do a Fallen Titans about Grumpy Cat. About what I mean, like, just like, because I'm fascinated by how a cat becomes a meme and the meme becomes a bunch of books, and how the meme then becomes a movie and becomes a bunch of comic books, and how the character crosses over with Garfield, and then Yeah, just like the brandification of memes in the early 2010s is fascinating. And I feel like Grumpy Cat is a good like semi-sequel to Fred.
And I think it is interesting because it also, I think there's probably an angle where it's like Grumpy Cat was one of the only animals where where they tried this and then realized it probably wouldn't work so much to do this over and over again because Grumpy Cat only had the opportunity to do the one movie before she passed on, and I think like that's probably like, you know, we haven't seen like that kind of thing be attempted again, and that might be part of the reason.
There's no one like Grumpy Cat. Can you think of any Fallen Titans ideas I pitched that was just a question mark, and now it's like, I'm trying to think.
I mean, there are some that like were question marks and probably still are, or maybe wouldn't work, or maybe could work in 5 years. Ryan Higo was one.
Yeah, we brought up Ryan Higo. Ryan Higo was going to be like a pre-Fred Fallen Titans, and I picked it because it was just about a story about burnout and how he was. I don't know if he's still retired, but he retired from YouTube.
He does Twitch at least.
He switched to Twitch because it's less, it's less. Yeah, I meant just more consistent for him, but it was going to be a story about like burnout, and I had just hit the 5-year mark. But the problem was, I found out there's some very passionate debates about certain aspects of the Ryan Higa channel, and I was like, if it's going to be a debate, I'm not going to do it. Like, I literally just wanted something light and like nostalgic before iCarly, because I was just working on that so much. And then I was going to do this was an interesting thing. One year I was going to do another Leafy video. It was like right before he came back, I was going to do a big video retrospective about Leafy. And then I started looking into it, and I was just like, I can't do it. I'm too old to give a shit about Leafy. And so I had a whole animated intro that I finished.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, the whole joke was it's like a 2-minute animated intro I commissioned, kind of talking about my experience. And then it's just like, if I'm going to talk about Leafy, I have to really lower my standards. And then it just cuts to like me, like stock footage of Garfield card. It's like, hey guys, today we're going to be talking about Leafy. You know, it's just, but it was just like, so I had this 2-minute intro that I paid for. It was done. It was just like, I can't do it. I just don't care. That was the thing. And that was the thing with just like a lot of Fallen Titans. I'm too old for drama. Drama is what people expected from that series, and I just don't. Especially like, the further you go back to drama, the harder it is to care. Because, I mean, a lot of drama is like people being exposed for being, groomers and that. But a lot of drama is just like, I don't know, it's like a bunch of 12-year-olds fighting. It's like, I don't give a shit. Don't expect me to give a shit. So that's kind of the problem with Fallen Titans for me. But I'm sure there are some concepts that we'll come up with someday.
I mean, like, I definitely have, like, my own video that, kind of in the vein of Fallen Titans, but,
Do you remember that? There's this one guy who wants me to do a Fallen Titans on Screw Attack. And he mentioned, for a while, he was mentioning it to me like once a week. He was always just like, yo, what's that Fallen Titans on Screw Attack? I don't really care about that.
Oh yeah, probably also.
And then he started being like, hey, can I write a video for you? It's like, I'm never going to be able to guess what video you want. It's like, here's the thing I wanted to do about Screw Attack. And it's like, I don't want to do that.
There's just like concepts all over the place. Like I do want to do like a history of epic rap battles video one day.
Oh yeah. I thought about doing an epic rap battles of history video, which first of all, I think I was like, well, they're still popular, and the problem is that it's like, I like, Fallen Titans is just like an internet retrospective show, but people see it as an indictment. And the other thing is that all my takes about epic rap battles history are just like pedantic complaints about their writing. And anytime you complain about their writing, people think you're saying the entire show is bad. Ooh. But we were talking about this the other day, that like my favorite, my favorite cliche in epic rap battles of history is like, it'll be 2 historical figures, and then the one historical figure will be like, you had 4 wives. Yep. It's like, well, you did. I looked it up. You had 4 of them. I know. Just like scrolling through a Wikipedia page. But it's just like people see fall. That's one of the big things about Valentine's that made it stop being fun is that like people really started to see it as like the new content cop at one point, and it was like I just want to talk about like old stuff and make jokes about it. Really, like I don't want to. If I make fun of something old, I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying that it's morally bad, which was a big problem.
Which is why the best episodes have these arcs to them.
Like Good
Fred, Filthy Frank, Tobuscus, those ones all have this story kind of being told there.
So you talk a lot about the It's Always Sonification of like iCarly and Victorious, where lots of episodes end with like someone being brutally assaulted and they're just kind of destroyed, like why do you think that like Nickelodeon writers chose to go in that direction versus like Disney Channel that's kind of like a light message package everything?
I think partially because Disney Channel was doing it, and so much of the identity of Nickelodeon, especially the people who made things like iCarly, so much of the identity of their own programming was, man, look how friggin' lame Disney Channel is.
Yeah, and I also think it's that I think they probably watched a lot of these shows and they kind of wish that they wanted to think that they were that for kids. And I know, for instance, that one of the lead writers on all these shows, who still works for Nickelodeon and voiced Rex, he started on Arrested Development, which is interesting because, what the hell? Dan Schneider once reigned over children's TV. What happened? I don't remember asking. Yeah, the guy that voiced Rex, everyone says Rex is stolen from Arrested Development, and I think they're kind of right, but it just lacks so much self-awareness. I think that's why I like these shows with anticlimactic endings, is because the writers would suddenly be like, oh right, we're supposed to be one of those shows. Like, let's suddenly end the finale with the Victorious characters being a bunch of losers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really an identity thing where they really wanted to be making like an FXX show by the end.
I was introduced to your content relatively recently with the Victorious video. Have you ever made, or do you plan on making anything revolving around like Jimmy Neutron or the the Sheen spin-off thing that they did a bit ago?
Okay. I constantly talk about that Sheen because I always tell people it's like the blueprint, whereas this show it's like it's just like a reboot for babies of a classic thing that was once intended for people who were no longer watching Nickelodeon. And I think that's what you see with Sam and Cat and Total Drama Daycare, or whatever it's called, and Teen Titans Go. I don't know, I thought about it. I think I recently became really obsessed with Johnny Quasar, which was the pilot kind of test animation for Jimmy Neutron. And I always, I got to this point where I was like, I kind of wish Jimmy Neutron was a little more like that. Where I almost feel like a Jimmy Neutron of the Toy Story era would have been a little bit better than the Jimmy Neutron of the Shrek era. But sometimes I revisit Jimmy Neutron and just little things bug me. Have you ever noticed that in Jimmy Neutron, they all have like photorealistic hands, but the hands of like a 40-year-old man? Pointing that out to me. But it's just like, watch Jimmy Neutron sometime, and they have like these carefully sculpted like fingers, and it's like a 40-year-old man's hands were scanned into the show, and just like Jimmy Neutron is walking around, and the hands are way too big for the arms. Like the arms are like that thick, and they got this little kid running around with like these gigantic hands, and just like something very uncanny about the show. I remember that was another show I watched because of the ships. I just really wanted Jimmy and Cindy to end up together. It was one of the rare shows where they just kind of slowly did. Like by the end of the show, they were like vaguely dating.
I think they straight up say "I love you" in the one.
Oh yeah, there's an episode where they get stuck on like a deserted island, and then they at one point they admit they're.
Oh, that one, but also like it was like a sequel to the Fantastic Four parody.
Oh yeah, that one was really disappointing. I remember.
Yeah, but it's like that one they like they just like, I'm pretty sure they just like make it official.
This weird joke where Jimmy is the smartest person in the world, but he's also in a sitcom, so he doesn't understand how people work. So he's like, I'm a scientist, and I'm here to tell you, people don't change. At the start of every episode, it's the same. So there's no change going on. And it was like, okay, that's pretty dumb. But yeah, Jimmy Neutron is interesting. One of those rare shows where I don't think you could reboot it. Because it's like, I wouldn't watch adult Jimmy Neutron. I wouldn't watch like an Adult Swim Jimmy Neutron. And I also would not watch just an authentic season 4 of the show.
Yeah.
What exactly would you say is your process in terms of like actually making a video?
I guess at the point is that I always spend so much time on the intro. The first thing that happens, first thing I do is I come up with a video concept and I workshop the title, sometimes for weeks. And as soon as I have a title, I make a thumbnail or a test thumbnail. And as soon as I have those two, I can make the video because it's just I've been doing this so long that I have to know it's marketable in a certain way. And because of that, I actually have folders filled with like thumbnails I never used. I almost did like a Bill and Ted video, and just like all these, they look like shit post videos because they're all just like authentic thumbnails for videos I never made. But then the next thing I do is I spend like a lot of time workshopping the intro. You gotta perfect the first 30 seconds of a video. And then I often just record the intro itself. And when it gets to the actual review of the show, what I often do is I'll like write like 4 episodes of analysis, make sure the script is liked, then record it and send it off to one of my editors. And then I do like 4 more episodes, send that to a different editor. It varies. Sometimes I have one editor on one season. It depends on people's workloads. But I like to have editors that put in enough time that by the time, you know, that they don't have the edit done before I have new stuff. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's just a lot of balancing that. Where, like I said at the end of iCarly, like if I had written that 4-hour video and then I recorded it all in one go and then sent it to an editor, that video would have taken 10 years to make. Yep. So that's a lot of my process now. And I think I've gotten a lot better over the last year.
Yeah, it becomes part of the identity of the videos, where, you know, a lot of the jokes, a lot of the, I think, personality comes out of, like, you can tell that this is Quinton from, like, 6 months before the video came out. And by the end, you could tell it's Quinton, like, 3 days before the video came out.
Yeah, I'm gonna do her, then I'll go to you, okay?
So my question is would be, I know you mentioned that unreleased videos here, animation and commission from artists. Have you ever considered releasing just the animated bit for posterity? Or is that something that you would want people watching in the vault? I'm just curious about it now.
It is on my Patreon somewhere. I did post it to Patreon. Yeah, Patreon is probably the best place. And it was this it's very dated because the entire point of the video was the intro was me being like, so my Leafy video is still my #1 video despite the fact that I hate it. Yeah. And then like by the end I'm like, I'm gonna give into it. I'm gonna make another one. And it's all this like beautiful animation representing like my opinions about the channel and my growth and where I was going. I made this in like mid 2020. And then but now it feels so archaic because it's like the Leafy video is on its way of just being eradicated from my top 5. So it's like it really is. But for like 5 years, it was the #1 video, and I always kind of resented it. But I'm very glad I didn't do that video because, like I said, I tried to, and I did not do a shit.
How did you feel earlier today playing Jackbox with one of the voice actresses from Bobby the Hedgehog?
Oh yeah, I mean,
But I learned that I got picked up from the airport with them. Like the other day, and only to learn like almost 24 hours later that I was like laughing at the movie she was in. Like I had no clue.
Yeah, we think we might know what line. It's just there's this one line that's probably her, but I don't know.
She was credited as additional voices. I'm told.
So we think it's the voiceover that's like. There's this scene in Bobby the Hedgehog, which I'm sure most of you haven't seen this video, but it's like a weird Chinese movie that we watched in 2020 as like a lighthearted thing, and then when we were watching the movie, we realized it's about a global pandemic, and so it's like there's this scene where like there's this woman who comes on a TV who's like, good news everyone, they have a vaccine that's been developed, and then there's a crowd shot of like everyone wearing masks, and then they all go, woo. Vaccine's not out yet! But I'm pretty sure that's probably the line. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of that would be additional voices.
Yeah, except like other stuff that just didn't have to make it to the video.
Yeah, but no, I didn't like. I don't want to mention go up to a voice actress who's prolific and be like, yeah, weren't you in Bobby the Hedgehog?
Oh man, imagine. Oh, what a weird pull. I want to say, by the way, subscribe to me if you like the creepypasta video, because I am actually working on my next big video. It is currently sitting at 12,000 words and not done yet.
Oh yeah.
It is creepypasta, unfiction, old ghost videos.
I'm featured in it too.
Yeah. You know, indie video games like Fighting Freddy's, all that stuff. All like just analyzing the entire weird meta subgenre of internet horror content, and I'm just going like in as big a deep dive as like scholarly as I could be about old creepypastas and stuff. I'm not even halfway done with writing it, but you know, I think if you like the creepypasta thing, this is looking like it's going to be my longest video, and it's going to be about that kind of stuff.
I'm always surprised by the videos people come back around to, because I've done the impression for years that people hated the creepypasta video, and now we're random compliments about it. I'm like, really? Because when enough people tell you a video is bad, you get to believing it, and it's just like, you like that one?
It was good. I just don't think it just didn't have like the same scope that you want to expect from your current grade.
Yeah, it's not
to expect from creepypasta.
I didn't have a thesis statement. It was literally just like, I'm just gonna make fun of like Jeff the Killer.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to your next question.
Oh, that was it. But I like how you were like in the video. You were like you made up because it was the revision of like how he like got in the birthday party. You're just like it was a story to just cover up how he just got dumped with acid while cleaning his bathtub.
Yeah. This isn't mentioned in the video, I don't think, but I'm like fairly certain that that's because that story came out around the time Breaking Bad season 1 happened. I'm pretty sure that was like lifted directly off of that episode of Breaking Bad where they tried disposing the body by breaking it down with acid in the bathtub, which kind of lines up with how SCP-173 was created, where it was. This was like literal weeks after the Doctor Who episode Blink came out. Sorry, this is the kind of stuff that you can expect from the video.
I'd say a very similar thing to that is the Loch Ness Monster, which the first sighting of the Loch Ness Monster was like 2 weeks after the movie King Kong came out.
Oh yeah.
And it had never been seen, and it was described identically to one of the monsters in King Kong. All right, so I guess. We'll do you. Okay. Yeah.
A quick comment and then an actual question. At first, I loved like that bad argument for like one gag for 5 seconds. It's like you'll cut to a shot and it's like all the dark films are Halloween stuff now. And you talk for like 5 seconds, cut away to something else and cut back, and they're all like back to normal.
Oh yeah, like the bit about the Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
That rant.
And then the actual question is, you talk about the ICU bunch. I feel like the beginning of it is Zoe 101. Have you thought about like doing a video?
Okay, so yeah, is that your question?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sam and Cat is going to start with me kind of discussing how Sam and Cat is a semi-finale to me. And basically, you know how I've said that Drake and Josh is the 1 million subscriber promise? I actually kind of lied because it's Drake and Josh and Zoe 101. So I'm going to announce that at the beginning of the next video. I was just saving it, where it's just like, and I hope that really push us, but it's like, if we get to a million, if we get to 1 million by December 31st, then Zoe 101 and Drake and Josh will do those videos. But yeah, I think, which started first, Drake and Josh or Zoe 101? I thought Drake and Josh was the originator because it was a spin-off of the Amanda Show, of course. But yeah, I was probably going to do the Zoe 101 video first, just because there's less anticipation. I remember, I rarely talk about Zoe 101, but I watched it when I was like a little kid. I was in like the 2nd grade, and I literally only watched it because I thought that Jamie Lynn Spears was the prettiest girl I'd ever seen. And that's why I was like, I want that Shaggy guy to like tell her how he feels. And
That's when the shipping started.
Yeah. I mean, that was an intense ship show for sure. And then it's just very ironic that then they did iCarly, and then they were just like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I haven't said this in a video, but I always talk about how like shipping culture disappears from these shows. Like in Henry Danger, it's like one of the best friends is the main character. One of his best friends is a girl, and they do have chemistry. But I don't think there's a single ship episode. And in fact, in Henry Danger and Game Shakers, one of the most consistently shown ships is one of the characters dating a character from another show. So like one of the girls in Game Shakers is dating the main character in Henry Danger sometimes, and it's just like that's how much they didn't want to bring it up.
Yeah,
Like they were like,
canceled.
Your main ship is this girl from a show that was canceled like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
What I was trying to say is it's interesting. I think a lot of that also has to do with the viewer base getting younger, because the shipping really appealed to like 8 to 15-year-olds, and I don't know if like 5th graders still watch but not 5th grade. I don't know if middle schoolers are still tuning into Nickelodeon these days, and so I feel like it's probably harder to get like really, really young kids invested in that stuff nowadays. But I don't know. That wasn't the question at all. I just started talking and to let it go. I think I promised you, yeah.
I'm sorry if you talked about this in the iCarly videos.
Okay.
One of the things that's always stuck out in my mind to me about iCarly was that like era of Nickelodeon was the advertisements for them.
Yeah, I talked about how the advertisements would include deleted scenes, and it pissed me off.
That's hilarious. But just like how the one that really stuck out to me was the one of them being in whatever and breaking in and being like, could they die?
Oh yeah.
And I realized how like Nickelodeon was the only one that did it where they treated like every single just 30-minute episode as an event of I met this person.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like Hannah Montana was like, I got a problem, baby. My science teacher gave me a B-, and then like iCarly was like, we could die. No one is safe.
They would ever just say that the episode of any Sweet Life on Deck, like it was this big event, unless it was a big event.
Yeah.
There were some regular episodes.
I remember that episode where they were almost falling is just a regular episode.
I feel like every episode in season 3 had like some commercial that made me go like, even if I didn't see the episode, it's like I remember seeing the commercial played like every commercial break. Yeah. And I remember always getting mad because they would just lie. Like so many episodes that were not ship episodes were disguised as ship episodes. Like the episode where Sam and Carly stop being friends, and like Freddie has to choose who he's gonna keep being an editor for. And there's a scene where they're like, there's a scene where Sam is like, Freddie deserves to be with me, and Carly's like, no, he's my man, and that was the trailer. And I remember as a kid being like, what the fuck? Lying bastards. And then Dan Schneider would be like, why does everyone think it's a ship show? Hell yeah.
So, where the phone stuff?
Okay. I have no guess that's where this is going.
How deep do you plan on going? There's like the epilogue, there's also 2, there's the game.
I will say this, I talked about this, I guess I mentioned this earlier. My pitch is that I don't care about the drama at all, or like any fandom stuff, I don't care.
The person who like Sharpied their skin, I don't care.
I don't care. You can't get me to care. So like the whole pitch is that it's just like, I don't know how far I'll get. I feel like no one has owed me doing all of it, but I want to. But it's just like the idea is it's supposed to be, like a lot of these videos, it's supposed to be me losing my marbles. And so the idea is it's me just live on camera trying to figure out the plot to Homestuck from like the 0-0 marker.
Because somehow, some way, this is like the only property we've been able to find that where like we have culturally opposed absolutely nothing, even though it's this iconic thing.
Yeah, well, it's like that was the pitch of my intro, is that I don't know anything about Homestuck, despite the fact that it's very infamous and well known. But it's like in the intro shot, I go on this rant about like WWE lore that I just picked up on. And like
Spike from My Little Pony.
Yeah, but just like I know who Spike from My Little Pony is, and I know that in WWE there was an era where everyone had like fucking superpowers, like they were JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And now we live in an era where no one has superpowers, but sometimes someone with superpowers will come back. And then it's just like, oh, and then in Dragon Ball Z there was a show called Dragon Ball GT that had a Super Saiyan form. But it's now considered non-canon because Super Saiyan Blue is set before that, but they have a new Super Saiyan form that's more powerful than the version in GT. And not a Dragon Ball Z guy.
We've never seen any.
But I've absorbed that information. I don't know shit about Homestuck. Like the whole thing is that it's like, what is Homestuck about? And one of the main reasons that
don't explain it.
Yeah, like really, one of the main reasons we haven't really started on it is that I want to have at least one more person. I want it to be me, him, and a third person. And the whole meme is, it could be you. The whole meme is that it has, I get all these people who are like, yo, I've been into Homestuck since I was 8 weeks old. It's like, you did not have a conversation with me because I will not know what you're fucking talking about. It's like if you came up to me and you were like, hey, I think you like Doctor Who, bow ties are cool. And I was like, let's talk about loons, okay? And here's the half-human theory. And then, so it's like, the whole pitch is that it has to be 3 people who are not into Homestuck. Not at all. Getting into it and just losing their minds. And, I don't know, maybe like a 15-hour video. That's one of the main reasons I haven't started on. Because for one, it's going to be a huge investment. For two, it's just like, I want to have a book club of 3 people just like talking about it, just like, what did you think of this chapter, etc. But I don't know. I'd like to think we'll get pretty deep into it. It really depends how we feel when we start working on it.
So first